Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So Harley-Davidson just had their 2021 global digital event where they unveiled all their 2021 bikes. Now, this is a pretty big deal because Harley-Davidson historically has done dealer shows. So basically they produce all of the new product for the dealers, provide them with all the information, and then basically send them out to go sell the bikes. Harley-Davidson did it the way I've been saying for a while that I think they should, which is more of like a keynote presentation. We all are familiar with the Steve Jobs type keynotes, and this is a little bit more of a message that is direct to the consumer as opposed to the dealer. This gives Harley the ability to tell stories, and they haven't really been able to do that before. So I'm going to toss the video up here on the side and just kind of run through this. And I also put a timestamp on the video because it's interesting to see how long it took them to get to certain points in this presentation. There are some things that I find pretty interesting, but again, this is all about storytelling. So go ahead and throw on the headphones here. Now, first, Harley-Davidson starts with a very typical Harley-Davidson marketing type video intro with all of the
stories in your wake.
Harley Feels, I guess you'd say. Then we jump into a minute in with Jason Momoa introducing Jochen Zeitz.
Without further ado, here's our Harley CEO, Jochen Zeitz. Mahalo.
Jason, thank you for that introduction, and thank you for being part of our Harley family. One of the things that 2020 did was to give me the opportunity to think about why I love riding.
So there we are, a minute and a half into this video, and Jochen Zeitz makes it very clear. He does ride. I've seen some comments from people, I see them all the time, that Harley should be run by people who ride, and they are making no mistake to be sure. Right up front, you know Jochen Zeitz rides, and you will see this theme throughout. But it is important they have to make that connection with the rider, that Harley is not just run by suits up in a conference room somewhere. And it also shows with his attire.
Out on the road and experience that freedom unique to riding my Harley. I want you all to leave today's event knowing that Harley-Davidson is here for you. I got into riding bikes when I was 16.
There we go with more of the storytelling. I ride motorcycles, which it's good.
And I've been seeking that sense of adventure and freedom ever since. I love touring the wide open roads of the American West, and I just returned from exploring Kenya on our next iconic touring bike, which I'll talk more about later.
And there's the Pan America tees.
We offer limited edition paint sets under the Enthusiast Collection.
This is interesting, an Enthusiast Collection. We're 3 minutes in, and they reference this Enthusiast Collection, which apparently they're going to have another line of bikes that I believe is going to be positioned. I'm not sure if it's going to be above the CVO or in between the Specials and CVOs, but it seems almost like a custom bike build type program, or at least they mentioned custom paint sets, but well, that's pretty interesting.
Part of our heritage for over 100 years. I know you're all familiar with CVO, but in 2021, we're thinking even bigger. This year, we launch an iconic new collection, marrying the best of Harley-Davidson innovation, evolution, and emotion.
So it seems like that's going to be whatever the Enthusiast line is, but they're not getting into that here. But I'm definitely interested to know more about it. And they were also mentioning this at 4 minutes into the presentation, which is something that leads me to believe it's going to be a pretty major thing they wanted to get out pretty early.
These models will redefine desirability and exclusivity. I'm so excited to share more with you, but that story isn't for today.
Teasing
in just
for
a
the
few
future.
moments, you will...
So this is interesting. They all these presentations basically start with a video intro of the bike. You start with this inspiring story, and then followed by more information on the bike that they introduced through this story. So Lance, Corey, Senior and Junior on the CVOs.
Brought myself and my son
Again,
to
all the
another connection.
America
We're
Feels
connected,
cowboy
we do
hat.
everything together.
So it's basically just a couple minutes of that. So here we are at 7 minutes in. Welcome to the CVO. Yep. So here we are with Brad Richards, VP of Styling and Design. This trend I have a huge appreciation for, and well done Harley-Davidson to allow your VP of Styling and Design to speak. But not only that, they actually have engineers as the video goes on, and these are not people they hired to do some sort of presentation. These are guys who have been with Harley-Davidson, guys and girls, for decades, and not everybody who works for every company is capable of getting on camera and not totally stumbling and bumbling like an idiot. And however they did this to polish everybody up to come off really well on camera, I know it was not an easy feat, likely wasn't an easy feat, but the execution was really great. So here we have Brad Richards talking about the CVO and design.
We want to make sure that every CVO customer feels like they have a one-off Harley-Davidson motorcycle in their garage.
That's pretty cool, just kind of getting into the design behind CVOs. And here we are with a closer look of the CVOs.
And I've been riding motorcycles for nearly 40 years.
I bought my first bike in 1999, a CVO FXR3.
So here we go again, establishing everybody at Harley-Davidson is riding Harley-Davidson.
We have another great lineup this year of 4 CVO models, and we're excited to show the world what we've been working on while working from home.
Now, new in the CVO Road Glide is the Harley-Davidson Audio by Rockford Fosgate Stage 2
This
sound
was one of the biggest announcements in the Harley-Davidson announcements, was this Rockford Fosgate audio system, I think. It seems like a pretty cool addition to at least the CVOs. And then, of course, you know, it's going to be a parts and accessories thing as well. The rest of the CVO stuff,
new paint and finishes this year.
new paint
and finally
finishes.
The CVO Tri-Glide.
I think there was a bit of a change.
It's everything
in the
you
tank,
need for an unrivaled trike touring experience that's
Tri-Glide
packed with
looks
power
pretty sick.
and bold
That paint
style.
job
Now,
was
at the
nice.
press launch for this bike, I got to tell you, I loved it when we introduced it to global media.
This is what drives me nuts with Harley-Davidson, is that they had apparently a global press launch of these bikes. So I presume that you're going to start seeing these larger publications coming out with their reviews and input. To the best of my knowledge, YouTubers aren't a part of that. Kind of a bummer. So it would be nice to start seeing Harley-Davidson reach out to some YouTubers. Harley, if you're listening, give me a call. Yep. Okay, so now we're into the Road Glide specials. We're 18 minutes in.
So many creative fields,
again,
art direction,
the
graphic design,
entry
photo
of
design.
this
When I'm
produced
out there,
piece.
I'm being inspired and I'm creating a new story for myself.
The specials, a closer look.
I've been riding for 3 decades now. I started from the moment I
He's a
turned
rider.
16.
My
Wonder
dad
if
bought
she
me my
rides.
first dirt bike at 4.
Oh, yeah, she's a
and I
rider.
grew up racing motocross.
So
Let's
again,
get a look at the 2021
everybody's a rider.
Street Glide,
They're making
Road
that
Glide,
clear.
and Road King
and I think
specials.
that's a good thing
These
to do.
powerful modern custom baggers are
So there you can see the Road Glide Special has the chromed out look now. You can get the specials chromed out, which is pretty cool. It's kind of heading more towards the idea of offering different packages with these bikes that I think is a pretty awesome execution. But this allows the Chrome fans to buy a special which has more bells and whistles.
For the first time, the Street Glide Special and Road Glide Special are also available in chrome finish, as well as the previous offered blacked out finishes.
the iconic touring design with a
red
two-tone
and
paint
black is pretty
option,
sick looking.
the shark nose fixed fairing.
They have this big piece on color theory, which is actually pretty cool. Harley-Davidson spends a lot of time on color palette. We all know that. Their finishes are awesome, and they go into this big color presentation that was pretty good, but I kind of cut that out here. So 25 minutes, the Street Bob 114. So the Street Bob is back.
I'm
They
just living
delayed
my
that.
life the way I want.
I love this piece.
For me, I know if I'm
Ashmore
happy,
Ellis.
if I'm fulfilled, if I have this time to reset, I can be the best wife, the best mother, the best friend, the best entrepreneur, the best me.
And then a little shout out to Babe's Ride Out There, which is pretty cool. It's clear that Harley has developed a relationship with Ashmore Ellis and Babe's Ride Out, which is awesome. I think that getting female riders involved is really cool. So seeing a wife with a child and women can ride too. It's a good message. I like it, and I'm happy that they put a little piece in here. For the Street Bob 114 unveiling. Again, it's the Street Bob.
Hi everyone, I'm
With a
Narissa
114
Cerny.
and some
I'm a
new
systems
new
engineer at
paint.
Harley-Davidson.
Integrated gauges. Apparel and riding gear. Again, I'm going to kind of skip past this one. Harley has new clothes and apparel. Then we get 32 minutes in here, the Fat Boy. Now, I think this is actually one of the more significant changes, oddly enough, and it wasn't even a huge change.
La dolce vita is something Italian.
Another
the sweet life.
inspirational
But
video
living a good
intro.
life-
And then here we are with the Fat Boy, and this is with Bill and Karen Davidson presenting it. Like I said, this was kind of a big deal.
Has become one of our most iconic.
You can see here they changed
some of
that satin chrome stuff they had going on up on the front of the bike, which
wider.
I saw a lot of love-hate stuff. They chopped the fender, I believe, on the front and rear, I believe. Yeah, if there was ever a bike to be chromed out, it's this one.
So we brought that answer by chroming out the bike.
So a huge thank you for joining us today.
So that was pretty much the presentation.
I promise you, there's more
37 minutes
ahead. That on February 22nd, Jason and I will be revealing Pan America and all the details you've been waiting for. Thank you for spending time with us today, and we'll see you on your next Harley adventure.
And then it goes into Jason Momoa's film, as they call it, about the Pan America, which I'm sure we'll see that entire film in February.
Is organic.
So that is the 2021 Harley-Davidson unveil of their bikes in this new digital global format. I love it. I think it offers the ability for them to do a lot more storytelling and connecting corporate to the actual customer, as opposed to corporate to the dealership and then the dealership to the customer. I think that execution is something that Harley-Davidson is going to grow to really appreciate, developing a bit more of that personal connection, I guess you'd say. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. See you guys next time.